Good evening, traders. This is CloudChartist with your special bonus edition commodity chart weekly wrap-up. I'm going to start off with the lean hogs. I am pretty zoomed out on this chart because I wanted you to see this low from way back in 2009. So lean hogs has been in quite the downtrend. We did get a bounce, and I think some traders were hopeful that we were putting in a bottom, but alas, we got rejected by the Tenkan-sen. We didn't even make it quite to the Tenkan-sen, and the downtrend is now back fully intact. We've been trading under the Tenkan-sen for quite some time now, many weeks. So if you had been short from when the cloud was lost or when the Tenkan-sen was lost this very bearish week here, you would have had no reason to get out of the trade. Even on this bounce, there was, the Tenkan-sen was not violated, so you had no reason to get out of your short trade. At this point, the RSI is getting quite oversold. That hasn't happened in this whole time frame. So that's something to keep an eye on, but that's not, we can always get more oversold. There's nothing else in particular to indicate that we're going to bounce here, except for this tiny tail, this tiny bottoming tail. But so until things change, this chart is still fully bearish in Ichimoku terms. Under the cloud is descending. Both Tenkan-sen and Kijun-sen are pointing downwards. So I would not be interested in trying to grab this knife. Next up we have live cattle. Live cattle has been was very bullish last week, and we put in a bounce. We got a bounce off the Tenkan-sen after we bounced. Basically, we sold into the cloud, got a bounce out of the cloud, so cloud held as support. We got another candle that bounced off the cloud but was rejected by the Tenkan-sen. This candle was sort of indecisive and ended up closing right on the Tenkan-sen. And then last week's candle bounced off the Tenkan-sen and actually closed above the Kijun-sen, but only by a little bit. So, in fact, only by like 15 ticks or so. So we could actually still find resistance at the Kijun-sen level at 158.475. Otherwise, this chart looks bullish. Uptrend intact. Cloud support is rising. So just watch that Kijun-sen level at 158.475 and see if that price continues to be above that level. I would look for higher prices. We could, though, however, if you look at the structure of the price action, it does look a bit like a head and shoulders, but it's far too early to go there. What I would be looking for to invalidate that would be getting above this level here, the 160 level. That would invalidate the right shoulder concept. So we also noticed the Chicago span is above the candles, which is significant if you want to be bullish on live cattle. Next up we have coffee. Coffee put in a really nice bounce last week after hitting the 23.6 fib and these fibs are drawn differently than I normally draw fibs. They're drawn from the low and high points. Very frequently I tend to draw fibs from real candle bodies rather than points, but these ones worked in a really significant way, so I thought that I would draw them this way, and maybe coffee traders use fibs. I mean, a lot of times, depending on how products are traded, like FX, for instance, many FX traders use fibs, and they most usually draw their fibs from high and low rather than bodies. So sometimes with FX charts, I'll draw my fibs that way because that's just what everybody else does. So anyway, you'll see that we got rejected at the 38.2. Well, we didn't quite get to the 38.2 level yet on coffee, so we'll see if we can get above that 148.53 level. That's important. And then if we do, 150.63 level comes into play. That could be a good area to short if you want to get short coffee. Unlike down here, which was not a good area to short in my opinion, as we were quite extended to the downside. Best place to short was when we lost this cloud here. That was, some really nice profits for a short, but on the bounce here, I think it's a little bit early to get short again. And if we do get over the 150.63 level, then we have this important level of the cloud again at the 168 level to work with. Next up we have wheat. Wheat put in a bullish candle last week after reversing over the Tenkan Sen. We do have a flat Kijun Sen above to attract price, so look for that to potentially happen. We do also have the Chikou, though it's coming into the Tenkan Sen. It looks like it's slightly over right here, but it could be rejected by the Tenkan Sen. And if the Chikou finds resistance at the Tenkan Sen, then price will not be able to go any higher. So overall, in Ichimoku terms, the wheat chart is still fully bearish, except for being over the Tenkan Sen. Although it is in a fast time frame uptrend at the moment. Next up we have soybeans. Soybeans put in a doji. Potential reversal candle after this downtrend. What we need to see is a higher high and a higher low in order to confirm the trend change. But overall, fully bearish under the Tenkan Sen, under the Kijun Sen. The Kijun Sen and Tenkan Sen are confluent at the 996.25 area approximately, which is the area that we want to look at, like 995, 996 area for potential resistance on soybeans on the weekly. If we get over that, then I would look to this level of these two tweezer topping candles as potential resistance. Next up we have corn. Corn has just been chopping along sideways for quite a while. It did come down and test the Kijun Sen and put in a vigorous bounce hammer candle, which closed over the Tenkan Sen. So that's quite a bullish development for corn, but we still have the cloud above acting as resistance. So I expect more sideways action unless we can actually break into the cloud. And if we do actually break into the cloud and close inside the cloud, then we can talk about potentially being attracted towards the top of the cloud at 420. But and we do have this gap to fill that I've been talking about. I didn't mark it this week, but that is something to keep an eye on also. And that may be it. Yes, indeed. That is the last chart of the commodities. So thanks for watching, and if you're interested in more CloudChartist goodness, check out my website at cloudchartist.com.